I still remember the moment my life fell apart. My phone wouldn't stop ringing, but nobody was calling to ask if I was okay. They were calling because they had already decided I was guilty. My ex, Ryan, had posted a heartbreaking story online, claiming I had cheated, manipulated him, and even stolen money from him. Within hours, friends I had known for years blocked me. Coworkers whispered behind my back. Even my own aunt texted me saying, "I never thought you could do something like this." I wanted to scream the truth, but every word I said sounded like an excuse. Ryan had planned everything so perfectly that I looked like the villain. The worst part wasn't losing him. It was watching my entire reputation collapse in a single day. I lost clients at work. My manager quietly suggested I take a leave of absence because the online drama was affecting the company's image. Everywhere I went, I felt people staring at me. I barely slept. Every night I kept asking myself the same question. How do you prove your innocence when the whole world has already made up its mind? What I didn't know was that Ryan had made one tiny mistake. A mistake so small that even he didn't realize it would destroy every lie he had built. At that moment, I had no idea such evidence even existed. 2 weeks later, I was packing old boxes in my apartment because I couldn't afford to stay there anymore. Most of them were filled with memories I wanted to forget. Then I found an old external hard drive that Ryan and I had used during our vacations. I almost threw it away, thinking it was useless, but something stopped me. Maybe it was hope. Maybe it was desperation. I plugged it into my laptop, expecting nothing more than old photos and travel videos. Instead, I found a folder I didn't remember creating. It had only one file inside. No title. No date. Just a random string of numbers. For a moment, I stared at the screen without clicking it. Something about that file felt different. My heart started racing, and for reasons I couldn't explain, I suddenly felt that my entire future might be hidden inside it. I took a deep breath and clicked play. The video started with Ryan sitting alone in his car, talking on the phone. At first, I thought it was just another random recording from one of our road trips. Then I heard my name. "Don't worry," Ryan laughed. "Once everyone believes she cheated on me, nobody will question anything. People always support the one who cries first." I froze. Every word felt like a punch to my chest. I turned the volume up. After this, she'll lose her clients, and I'll finally get the promotion because she won't be around anymore. She'll be too busy defending herself. I couldn't breathe. The man I had once trusted wasn't just lying. He had planned everything. Then the recording suddenly stopped. I searched the hard drive again, hoping there was more, but that was the only file. It was enough to expose his lies, but not enough to convince everyone. Ryan could still claim the audio was edited or fake. For the first time in weeks I felt hope, but I also knew I needed stronger proof. The next morning I contacted a lawyer. After listening to the recording, she looked at me and said, "This gives us a reason to investigate, but if we're going to clear your name completely, we need something that no one can deny." Those words stayed in my mind. Who else knew the truth? Then I remembered Ryan's former coworker, Daniel. Months earlier, Ryan had complained that Daniel had betrayed him. At the time, I hadn't understood what he meant. When I met Daniel, he looked nervous. Before I could even finish explaining why I was there, he quietly said, "I knew this day would come." My heart skipped a beat. Daniel admitted that Ryan had bragged in the office about creating fake screenshots and carefully editing conversations to make me look guilty. At the time, everyone thought he was joking. But Daniel had secretly saved copies of some work emails because Ryan had used his office computer to prepare part of the plan. Even with that, Daniel hesitated. "If I testify," he whispered, "I'll probably lose my job." I couldn't ask him to sacrifice his career for me. So I stood up, thanked him, and walked away. Just as I reached the parking lot, my phone rang. It was Daniel. "I've spent months feeling guilty," he said. "I'm done protecting a liar. I'll tell the truth." A week later, Ryan received official notice that legal action had been filed. For the first time since our breakup, he stopped posting online. Instead, he started calling me nonstop. When I refused to answer, the messages began. "Delete the recording. We can settle this privately. You're making a huge mistake." But one message made my blood run cold. "You have no idea what I'm willing to do if this goes to court." At that moment, I realized this was no longer just about clearing my name. Ryan was terrified, because he knew the truth was finally catching up to him. The courtroom was silent as Ryan confidently walked to the witness stand. He looked at me for a brief second and smiled, as if he was already celebrating another victory. His attorney claimed that the recording had been manipulated, and that Daniel's testimony was nothing more than revenge from a former coworker. For a moment, I felt the same fear that had haunted me for weeks. Then my lawyer stood up. "Your Honor," she said calmly, "before we continue, we'd like to submit additional evidence that was recovered during the forensic examination of the external hard drive." Ryan's smile disappeared. The court technician connected the hard drive and displayed its hidden system logs on the courtroom screen. Those logs proved something Ryan never expected. The recording had been created months before our breakup and had never been edited. The metadata matched the exact date, time, and device it was recorded on. Ryan's attorney immediately objected, but the judge overruled him. Then the full recording was played. This time it didn't stop where I had first found it. The missing part continued. Ryan laughed and said, "Once her reputation is gone, nobody will care whether she's innocent. They'll remember the accusation, not the truth. If anyone questions me, I'll just fake more screenshots. It worked before, and it'll work again." The room fell completely silent. Then another voice appeared on the recording. It was one of Ryan's closest friends. "Ryan, this is going too far. You're going to destroy her life." Ryan answered without hesitation, "I don't care. As long as I win." I looked around the courtroom. The same people who had once believed every lie about me could no longer even look me in the eye. The judge removed his glasses, looked directly at Ryan and said, "This court has heard enough." A few days later, the final judgment was issued. The court ruled that Ryan had deliberately defamed me using fabricated evidence and false public accusations. He was ordered to pay damages, remove every defamatory post, publish a public apology, and cover my legal expenses. But the biggest victory wasn't the money. One by one, former friends called to apologize. My employer reinstated me and publicly cleared my name. Clients who had left returned after learning the truth. Weeks later, I received one final email. It was from Ryan. There was no anger left in his words. Only one sentence. "I never thought one recording could destroy everything I built." I read it once, and quietly deleted it, because I had finally learned something no lie can erase. A reputation can be stolen in a single day, but when the truth is strong enough, it always finds its way back.